Hey YouTubers, in this video I'm going to talk about the story points for the February 22nd edition of Monday Night Raw. So if you haven't had a chance to watch Raw yet, this is the time where the spoiler dragon is out. So turn on back and go watch Raw and come back to my video and, follow along with me. So I'm about to start in 3, 2, 1. So that was your warning. Alright, so we started off Raw with Brock Lesnar attacking Ambrose. And this is really just to start generating some story hype because at the end of Fastlane on Sunday, we really just were flatlined with nothing, right? Because the story value all went towards Roman Reigns and going to Mania, and now we left Brock Lesnar and Ambrose, who would actually move tickets off the card. So this whole thing was just to set up putting the two more popular wrestlers on the card, um, probably mid card, probably near the end. They'll be the second match of the night, end of the night, probably. So now they're on the card, and this is a good thing. So then we move over to Stephanie, the award ceremony, which is kind of originally I was just like, oh, there's no story value here. But I read some things about possibly Undertaker showing up, and then they'd make some story points there for a Taker match. So I kind of went into this just going, yeah, whatever. Who would it be? Kurt Angle. There was all that hype on there about it's not someone on the roster. So then when Shane's music hit, I marked out. I was like, what? Shane O'Mac is in the house? It was awesome. Like we haven't seen Shane McMahon, and geez, man, I can't remember last time I remember seeing him on the show. I felt like it was like the WCW takeover. Like I was just like, wow. So obviously, classic exchange between the three, Vincent, Stephanie, and Shane. It was really good, and Shane really set up a very good match for Mania with Undertaker, which will be Undertaker versus Shane in a Hell in a Cell match, and if Shane wins, he becomes the new owner of Raw, or yeah, the owner of WWE and Raw and all that, which is really good because I think, as everybody else is probably thinking, that Shane O'Mac represents the Attitude Era. So maybe if he does take over, we're going to see a shift towards an Attitude Era and less of a PG era. But we'll have to wait and see. Taker in a Hell in a Cell match with Shane is good. It gives Shane a little bit of an advantage. But we'll see. It's hard to tell. Like it's hard to tell. But I guess maybe Taker's down for jobbing to Shane. I don't know. It'll be interesting because Taker can do whatever he wants. It's Taker. So good story points for Shane and Taker going forward to the Mania. It's actually it looks like a Mania match to look forward to. So after that, we have New Day and Neville against the Lucha. Oh wait, no, sorry. New Day versus Neville and the Lucha Dragons. So this match was just a waste of time. I love New Day and all, but it was just a waste of time. There's really no story value here. It doesn't really push anyone forward. It's just another win for New Day, and like I said before, you know, just a waste of time. Ugh. And wait, I think Callisto's with Lucha Dragons. I totally forget where he is. I mean, that just means the USA belt is just sitting there, doing nothing, developing no storylines, and it's just like, why? Why is this even happening? So, pointless match, pointless results. New Day wins, and we just go on to the next thing. It was like, yay. I love a good New Day promo, though, so whatever. That was the only plus out of it. But yeah, waste of time. Next we have Lesnar showing up, and he comes down, cuts his promo with Paul Heyman, as always, dope, making story points out of thin air, as always. So it was pretty much just hyping up Brock Lesnar, which we know he's the show. Everyone wants to watch Mania and watch Brock Lesnar beat the crap out of Roman, but we're not going to get that, or even beat up Hunter, and we're not going to get that. So pretty much the next best thing is to give us Ambrose, which will be a good match. I actually think it's going to be a good match. Because Ambrose likes to take 1,000 suplexes, so Suplex City is going to be very populated. Pretty much what happens to elevate the story is Ambrose comes comes to the ring in an ambulance, all beaten up, challenges Lesnar, and boom, Lesnar hits him with an F5 and accepts the match. Well, Paul Heyman accepts the match because Lesnar never talks anymore, but still, The match was accepted, and we moved on, and it got us set up. It was like everything was setting up some good matches here. Like we got a good setup with Shane O'Mac, good setup with Lesnar, and now we get on to the boring section of Raw. Because yeah, it went all downhill after that. So next we had the Usos versus Ascension. Boring match, kind of pointless, no story value. The Dudleys came out prior to the match, did some mic work, and elevated a little bit of story value, but the story value there is kind of useless, right? Like, they're just telling everybody, hey, we're here to kick butt and deal with it, right? Like, get out of our way, we're here to just kick butt. So, that was it. And the Usos were just like, yay, you beat us up, great, thanks. Well, we're going to go wrestle now. And the Usos won clean. Like, the Dudleys didn't come down to do anything. And, hit the commercial. Like, it was just boring and useless value. Like, Ascension is so useless. I feel sorry for those guys. They're never going to get story points. They're just there to push Usos and other people around. So they'll never hold a belt. And well, they might, but I don't think they ever will. Then we come back with Jericho doing his Raw's Jericho with AJ Styles for a little bit, doing some repairing the story value, I guess. There's no value here. It's just putting the punctuation at the end of the great 3 weeks of them wrestling each other, which has been great. As you would expect, you would think Kevin Owens or The Miz would have showed up, right? But you're wrong. The Social Outcast showed up, which makes no freaking sense. Social Outcast equals zero story value to me. And they're not even, there's not even a point of pushing this right now. There's no point. Like, AJ and Jericho are so over that they don't need any more pushing. Like, so there was a tag match, Whippy Doo. Oh, so bad. Yeah, so AJ and Jericho won cleanly, which is great, but it doesn't really elevate anything towards going to Mania. There's no story value here. So we'll have to wait another week to see what happens. I don't know. Maybe something on SmackDown will happen, but I don't really watch SmackDown because it's a boring show. So then we go back to get two backstage segments with Hunter and Steph, and I'm not even going to touch on it because they're so boring right now. And then we also hit they're just doing authority stuff, right? So they're just maintaining the status quo for the story to get you to Mania. There's nothing going to change here until Mania hits. So it's status quo, authority, whippy doo. Then we go to another scene with R-Truth and Goldust, which kind of is recapping the stupid Fastlane match, right? That made no sense. So it was kind of just a recap. R-Truth rejects Goldust yet again, and he smashes Goldust's apology cake into his face. And it kind of just makes me sit there going, why is this still going on? There's no one. I don't think the story value is there anymore. I think it's just becoming to this point where it's like, we were interested 2 weeks ago, and now we're losing interest, because this is like, it's just losing interest now. So they better wrap this up so the Usos have somebody to fight, or I mean New Day have somebody to fight, because this is just a waste of a segment now. It's getting boring. It's getting stale. So story points are starting to decline no matter what they do here. Then we go to the Titans versus the Wyatts again, a rematch. Oh boy, and it was just another match, same old thing from Fastlane. But the only twist, which was surprising, they're giving story value to Ryback, who turns his back on the Titans, and he left the ring and gave the Wyatts a chance to win. So, wow, Ryback, yay! I guess somebody out there likes Ryback. I don't know, but they cut to him in the back, and he was just talking about, it's time for me to go solo. And then he said some random Ryback stuff that makes no sense, and that's it. So story value for Ryback, he's moving up, slow and steady. 2 wins one win and a turn. So is he heel or is he a face? I don't know yet, but we'll see. I guess we'll see. I'm not even interested. I don't even care if he's on the Mania roster. It's a waste of time. So there's only a couple more matches left here because this Raw was actually quite boring. So we're getting on to, well, it was amazing at the beginning and then it got boring. But anyways, so let's get to Sasha Banks versus Naomi. This is just another match to make Sasha look good. And Naomi is incredibly good at doing that. So she's a great wrestler, and I believe she's really good at pushing talent forward. I hope she gets her chance with the belt because she deserves it. The work that she's putting in, pushing the other female wrestlers ahead of her, she should definitely get a belt eventually, or a chance at the belt eventually. So yeah, of course, Sasha gets the win. Becky comes down and helps, and then this sets up for Charlotte coming down, being a good heel, and hyping up whoever the winner of the next of Becky and Sasha will be her opponent at Mania, which is great. Perfect story setup, and now we're at like maximum story points here. The end result is going to be good because whoever wins from Becky and Sasha, whatever match, whenever that week that happens, that's the pinnacle, and then we get into Mania, and it's going to be perfect. Like they've been setting the storyline up perfectly for once. So everyone got story points here except for Naomi and Tamina. Anyways, we go back to backstage again, and this is just pointless value for just authority. Vince and Steph talking doesn't matter, so we're moving on. Then we get to the final match of the night: Roman Reigns versus Sheamus, which is just another squash match for Roman to try and look powerful and all that jazz. Absolutely no story value here because Roman's already going to Mania. There's nothing between now and Mania that's going to change anything unless he actually gets real life injury, or real life injured. What am I saying? That's the only thing that could possibly change any storyline here. So as of right now, there's no value in this match. So it's just there to show you Roman's tough dude. He can take on the League of Nations, and he can take on Hunter too. He can take a good beating. That's kind of what they're setting up here, and I'm predicting that the rest of the road towards WrestleMania for Roman is going to be him fighting every League of Nations member, and Hunter just coming down and beating the crap out of him, and maybe a 4-against-1 match in there too. Why not? But that's pretty much all they're going to be doing, is just trying to show you how strong Roman is. The fans are going to hate it, and we're going to have to put up with it until Mania. At least I hope not, but it just feels like that's the predictable way to go. It's just to keep elevating Roman to being a powerful beast, and he can, be someone that will be a good competitor for the heavyweight belt against Triple H. And that was the end, because Triple H came down and beat the crap out of him with the bell and endless fists, and then they wrapped it up. It was like game over. Here I am. Oh yeah, he did the classic suck it. Yay, everyone was happy. So that was the end of Raw, and it was okay. I fell asleep a couple times, to be honest. I was like dozing off in between the long commercials. I was just like, oh god, I'm passing out. So overall, there's only a couple. The start was good for story value in developing story, but the end just really tanked it down. Like it just went downhill after the first half of Raw. So it'll be interesting to see what they do next week. I'll definitely be back with another video about next week's Raw. So if you guys are enjoying what I'm doing, and you're enjoying my videos and stuff, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, on YouTube, so you can know when the newest video comes up. And if you have any comments or suggestions to improve my videos, just write them down below, and stay tuned for more videos. And that's it. Peace.